Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's a girl Cindy. Welcome back again to another video. Thank you so much for coming back. So let's talk about what happened between Taylor Townsend and Jelena Ostapenko in the US Open match. I don't know if you all have seen the clip. It is going viral on TikTok and people are weighing in. So obviously the black woman Taylor Townsend won the match. And in that clip, you could see her walking towards Jelena to give her a handshake. But for some reason, Jelena was not happy that she lost the game. And she started shouting at Taylor, saying that she has no class and she is not educated. I mean, why would she say such a thing? Are there no rules in the game? Is that allowed? So Jelena was forced to deny being racist after she told Taylor that she has no class and she is not educated.
Taylor, congratulations. Fiery match start to finish. We'll get to it all. Can you fill us in on the conversation you were having with Yelena out there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's competition. People get upset when they lose, and you can't. Some people say bad things. She told me I have no class, I have no education, and to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I beat her in Canada outside the U.S. I beat her in New York outside the U.S. So let's see what else she has to say.
You were down 5-3, won 9 straight games. What changed for you?
Honestly, I just locked in. I mean, she was playing really well at the beginning, and, you know, when she was playing well, I didn't say anything. And so that just shows class. I mean, sometimes people are playing too good and you have to just take it, but I turned it up another level, and that's what I'm most proud of today.
I'm going to show you her statement or her post. Now, beside me is the statement. You can pause to read, but I'm going to read it out for you. So she says, how many messages I have received that I am a racist. I was never racist in my life and I respect all nations of people in the world. For me, it doesn't matter where you come from. There are some rules in tennis and unfortunately, when the crowd is with you, you can't use it in disrespectful way to your opponent. Unfortunately for me, coming from such a small country, I don't have that huge support and a chance to play in homeland. I always play in the US and US Open, but this is the first time someone is approaching the match this disrespectful way. Wow. So tell me, how was she disrespectful? By winning the game? Okay, I'm going to show you some videos I've put together. Obviously, people are reacting to this situation, but I just want to say this because let's just reverse it. If it had been Taylor who was being disrespectful to the white woman, she would have been called all sort of names. I checked her page out on TikTok, and these racist white people went straight to her page in her comment section, leaving racist comments. Stay with me, guys. Let's see some reaction videos. Of course, I would love to know what you all think in the comment section. If you have seen that clip, tell me how disrespectful the black woman was to Jelena. Check these videos out.
So let's break this all the way down. So Taylor Townsend just beat Jelena Ostapenko in straight sets at the US Open yesterday. And instead of shaking hands like a professional, Ostapenko walks up and says, you have no class, no education. Let's see what happens when we play outside the United States. So while she's saying this, she's literally pointing at Taylor's face and jabbing her finger down toward her like she's trying to shrink her, put her in her place. That's not just disrespect, it's intimidation. It's visual domination. And when it's done to a black woman on a world stage, it's not just personal, it's political. Telling a black woman she has no education is not random. That's a dog whistle. It's the same rhetoric that's been weaponized for centuries to strip black women of our intellect, our value, our place. And it's always used when we win, when we disrupt the narrative, when we dare to take up space. And no class, another tired line meant to shame us when we don't smile and shrink. Townsend didn't gloat. She didn't disrespect anyone. She won. And suddenly, that's a problem. So then when she says, let's see what happens when we play outside the United States, what are you really saying? That she only wins because of some imagined home court advantage? Or is it a warning that outside the United States, a Black woman like Townsend will get put back in her place? That's not a tennis critique. That's racialized language. That's veiled aggression. And in that moment, pointing in her face, speaking down to her, dripping with entitlement, it wasn't just about losing a match. It was about punishing a Black woman for daring to be excellent in a space that wasn't built for her. And through all of that, Townsend stood tall and said, I'll let my racket talk. That is grace. That's composure. That is what real class looks like. Now, I want to see that same professionalism from the United States Tennis Association and the U.S. Open leadership. Ostapenko should be fined. There needs to be disciplinary action because when Black athletes are met with hostility, verbal or physical, and nothing is done, the message is clear. You're going to protect the game, but not the people in it. If the roles were reversed, if this behavior had been directed at a white player, it wouldn't even be up for debate. It would be action, immediate and loud. Racism in sports doesn't always show up in slurs. Sometimes it's in the tone, the words, the body language, the finger in the face, the need to diminish and dominate. And if the tennis world stays silent now, you're telling Black athletes exactly where you stand.
So Taylor Townsend won the U.S. Open. After her win, she walks up to her opponent, shakes her hand. Her opponent was Jelena Ostapenko. I hope I'm saying that right. AKA Miss Trunchbull. She really had the audacity to say to Taylor while shaking her hand, you have no class and no education. Excuse me, what? Some things ain't for everybody. Because somebody like me probably would have beat the shit out of her with that tennis racket. Because it's given a racial undertone. You're mad because you lost? So I have no class and no education? Well, let me show you how much motherfucking education I got with a tennis racket and how many ways I could beat your ass with it. Let me educate you on that. But see, that's not my testimony. So shouts out to Taylor for handling that like a class act. You go, girl.
Did anyone see Ostapenko versus Townsend in the US Open? Yeah? That was absolutely outrageous what happened at the end of that match. She literally bullied and harassed Townsend, yeah, just because she won. It was pure sour grapes just because the girl won, yeah. She just couldn't handle it at all, so she started launching into this girl, yeah. And no one did anything. No one did. They just let this bullying take place on court. Now, this tennis federation or whoever oversees all of this, this is 2025. Why is this going on? This should not be allowed. This, if someone does that on court and especially bullies and harasses another player, it's different. Like I feel if they kind of throw the racket and stuff, if they're kind of angry with themselves. Yeah, I know they can get violations and things for that, but I kind of think, look, fair enough. You're just angry with yourself. But when they start targeting someone else and purely because they won, yeah, that should just be like outright ban for ever even, or just for however long. It's bullying, it's harassment. And what that's going to do to Townsend is, first of all, it took the joy out of her winning. The whole thing then became about this big row. That's really unfair. Also, Townsend has to now go on and play another match. She's not going to be fully focused. Even if she says, oh, I don't care, whatever, of course she cares. Yeah, no one is going to be targeted like that and be okay after that. It was absolutely outrageous. And I just can't believe that nothing was done about that. 2025 and nothing was done about that.
As someone being a fan of the U.S. Open and loving tennis, it really upsets me that we have not yet heard the U.S. Open make a formal statement concerning the extremely poor behavior of Ostapenko against Taylor Townsend. I worked at the U.S. Open and loved it. It wasn't intended to be no long-term thing, but I loved when I was there. I just wanted the experience, and I wanted to be able to see Serena and Venus. And I worked the luxury boxes and was able to meet quite a few celebrities, made quite a few connections, and it was just a beautiful experience for me. But what really bums me out is that they have not made a formal showing of like letting people know that that type of behavior from Ostapenko was not appropriate. It wasn't fair. It wasn't in good character. I mean, she was being a bigot. Okay, she made some racially insensitive comments and assumptions, and then on top of all of that, she had the audacity and the nerve to mildly verbally threaten Taylor Townsend with wait until you get to fill in the blank. And it's like, how awful is that? That is awful behavior. There's talking schmack and there's being passionate about the game. And then there's just, really, how much more of a bigot can you be? And it's sad because it just goes to show you, Black women work doubly, sometimes triply as hard to get to the same place that mediocre non-Blacks get to. And what ends up happening is that they end up getting treated less than for double, triple amount of greatness. And then on top of that, it's like, you can't be smarter, you can't be more educated, you can't speak up and say something, you can't not say something. It's like we're not given any room to be us. And then you wonder why so many women, Black women, lash out through anxiety, through just wanting to be left alone. Y'all wonder why. I mean, people wonder why, like, I'm not just a socialite, so to speak. Like, I'm not just out here just hanging out and going to every, social event there is. A lot of times I want to just be left alone. I don't want to be bothered because I've spent a lifetime doing just what Taylor Townsend and countless other talented Black women have done. I'm over it. I'm over it. If you're not celebrating me and I'm celebrating you, if you're not able to be around people without feeling inadequate, without feeling like you have to be in constant competition, I don't want to share my space with you. I just don't want to share my space with you. And sometimes it means you having to back up and cut a lot of people off because it gets to be too much. You're constantly pouring into other people's cups as they sit back and be jealous and vengeful on the sidelines underneath. But it's awful. It's absolutely awful. And I just feel like the US Open should have said something. They should have issued a statement. They should have done something. It doesn't seem right that she Ostapenko put on that big show, meltdown, tantrum, hurled threats verbally at another player and was able to get away with that and nobody says anything because she's a non-Black person. Because that's more than just being passionate about the game. That's some deeper stuff going on with Ostapenko. I swear, us as Black women, we can't win for losing.
Yelena Ostapenko has no idea what she's about to go through because the Shade Room just posted her heated exchange after her US Open match with Taylor Townsend, in which she told Taylor that she had no class and no education and to wait to see what happens when they get outside of the US. For context, this all started when Taylor hit a net cord, and if you don't watch tennis, a net cord is basically when you hit the ball and it clips the net. This can cause the ball to bounce awkwardly in a way that makes it more difficult for your opponent to reach it. It can go a lot of different ways. It's basically kind of like a lucky break depending on how the ball bounces. So when people win a point where there's a net cord, they usually give like a sorry hand gesture as sort of like a courtesy to their opponent, but it is in no way a rule or a requirement of the game. Some people do it, some people don't. So when Taylor hit the net cord and she won the point, she did not apologize. And you could see Yelena stay at the net, kind of like waiting for an apology. And it was at that point that she first called Taylor uneducated. After the match, when they went to shake hands, that's when Yelena started saying all that stuff I said. And Taylor basically told her, you need to learn how to take a loss better. I haven't seen it for Yelena ever since she got them Senegalese twists and turned all the comments off on her Instagram. Because, girl, what are we doing? And speaking of comments, people are already acting a fool under all of Yelena's posts. They're even on her cooking page, giving her the blues. And this whole shade room posting thing is only going to make it worse. But, girl, you made your bed. But I have to say, Taylor did exactly what needed to be done in her response. You can watch her full press conference on the US Open YouTube. But this bottom part right here, she said, the thing that I'm most proud of is that I let my racket talk. Because ultimately, I'm the one sitting in front of you guys, moving on to the next round, getting the next check, moving on, being able to sit here and speak to you guys. And that's what's most important. She's packed up and she's gone. I'm here, and that's the only thing that matters. And that's on period. Ultimately, Taylor chalked it up to a competition and just Yelena being upset that she lost. And that really is what it is. Like, this is not an issue that you really needed to press this hard. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Out into the loser who told Taylor Thompson that she has no education, no class, and to wait to see what happens outside the USA. We all outside. What's up? What's up? You need that? Do you want that? Because we'll give you that. Y'all cannot stand to lose to a black woman. It just fucks with your whole entire ego to lose to a black woman. Why don't you get in the field? Go to school. Get your education, because you clearly don't know what to do with that racket. Like Nicki Minaj said, it is not cool to be a loser. Go to school. Figure out what to do, because clearly you don't know. The minute a black woman supersedes y'all immediately tag education and class. I know your ancestors tried to keep us uneducated, but unfortunately, that's not the case. We're the most educated. Do your research. That lady that lost Coco Golf tried to do the same exact shit. Now, why don't you go look at their film, student, and learn from the teacher? Maybe you won't be a loser. Good morning.
Beside me are some of the screenshots of comments I grabbed so you guys can see what other people said about this situation. You can please pause to read if you want to. Okay, so people are waiting on US Open to make a statement because they should, right? Jelena openly threatened the black woman. She said to her she's got no class and no education. Make it make sense. Y'all don't have rules? Is this what y'all do? Is this supposed to be a thing? But anyways, kudos to Taylor for keeping it calm. Kudos to her for keeping it very cutesy and very demure, which shows that she is very classy and respectful. And of course, very much educated. So guys, let me know what you all think in the comment section. And thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, subscribe, and of course, come back for another one. I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Y'all have a beautiful day. Bye.